So crushing the driver, smashing him long and straight down that fairway is probably one of the most satisfying things we can do as a golfer. So I'm going to give you 3 tips in this video that's going to give you some extra yards off the tee and make sure you're going into the green with 1 less club in your hand. So tip number 1 is the ball position, a very basic element in driver. Most of us know where that ball position needs to go. Yeah, I see so many golfers tend to move that around just to try and maybe control strike, maybe control start direction of the golf ball, and see a lot of golfers hit down through impact. Now we know how important it is to hit up. It helps us to deliver some loft, to get the launch and lower the spin, which we know when we get those elements, we can gain some extra yards off the tee. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to throw in a little bonus tip for you here that helps you to get a little bit more power and a little bit more club head speed, resulting in some extra yards. So to help with ball position, make sure you pick up an alignment stick or another golf club if you want to use that. Place that on the ground, and obviously this is a very simple tip. We see many of the best players in the world doing this all the time on the range, whether it's alignment of the feet or ball position. And simply we're going to take our stance and straddle this alignment stick. So the ball's directly in front of our feet. And from there, we're going to then take literally just settle the lead foot and then take your trail foot and make this stance. So you can see that clearly puts that line of that ball in a position that's just inside your lead heel, which is sort of where we want it, because that's going to allow us to hit a little bit more on the upward blow. Again, that helps with launch and lowering that spin. If this ball position gets a little bit sort of in the stance, typically then we're going to hit the ball as the club's still traveling down, especially if you've got a little bit of an out to in swing direction. You're definitely going to hit more down on that golf ball and you're going to produce a lot of spin, which will lose distance. So let's work this routine. Make sure we have that ball in that forward part of the stance. This sets us a little bit more behind it. We can hit more up on that golf ball. Just one note from there, then you might have to change that tee height. So adjust your tee height accordingly. Look at your strikes, see where those strikes are, and you might need to move that tee up or potentially a little bit more down. So tip number 2 to help us get some more yardage off the tee. So tying in from where that ball position now is positioned in that lead foot, we now want to have a little bit of spine tilt in that setup. So that trail shoulder just wants to sort of drop a little bit lower as a feeling than your lead shoulder. That puts a little bit of a line of the shoulders in this position and that little bit of spine tilt in the body. So that, as you can appreciate, will enable us to again hit a little bit more up on that golf ball and get away from this downward blow. When the ball goes forward, if the golfer does tend to get ball position right, sometimes what I see is then they drift a little bit this way to get that head over that golf ball. And what you can obviously see happening there is the spine angle straightens up, the shoulders level out, and then we end up hitting a little bit down on that golf ball. So to help you get into that position, we'll take that ball position there and then maybe just feel like this trail arm just slides down your trail thigh a little bit and then comes to the grip, and you can see that just puts that little bit of that tilt through the spine angle, and we're ready to go from there. Don't forget, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to give you that bonus tip that can help you get some extra speed. Okay, so moving into tip number 3, and this one's a real big one for me. And again, as we strive to chase more speed, more distance off the tee, we tend to get really fast through the backswing, which is an absolute killer for then controlling transitional speed, synchronization of the body and the club at the right parts of that golf swing. Strike goes and the ball is all over the place. So what I want you to really focus on is a controlled tempo through the backswing, the takeaway into the backswing, and the transition as we change direction from the upward swing into the downward swing. We don't want to throw from the top because we know what's going to happen from there. We're probably going to throw it over the top. Swing path suffers, we're offline. So I want you to have a little bit of a control of the speed we take that club away. Take your time at the top of the swing, then you can sort of commit to it on the way down into that finish position is where I want you to try and feel the speed. Feel it after the golf ball. I know that sounds strange, but realistically you've got to turn it on through the bottom of the golf swing. I see this so many times. Golfers got what they would feel like is an actual slower swing speed. Because they take the time for the backswing and the transition, it feels slower. Yet when we look at TrackMan numbers, the club head speed doesn't change. If anything, you actually gain a little bit of speed. So let's give that a go. Ball position, we've got that little bit of tilt there. We're going to control tempo and make sure then we commit to the follow through. Oh, and that's absolutely crushed. Don't want that one back. So bonus tip time for you now. So we know we want to crush that drive and get those extra yards off that tee. So if you struggle to make that full shoulder turn through that backswing, then this little tip might just help you to complete a little bit better and generate some extra power through that shot. So as you make this backswing now and you maybe feel like you struggle to complete that turn, whether that's a mobility aspect or just a control of getting around into that position, just allow that lead heel to come off the ground through the backswing. So let that foot just come off the ground a little bit, the heel. That just frees up the hips to make a little bit more of a rotation, which then in turn will allow the shoulders just to complete. That might help you just to wind up a little bit more. So let's give this a go. Let's put all these elements into one. So I've got ball position, got the little tilt there. I'm going to control my tempo, and let's get this left heel off the ground a little bit. Let's see if that helps us. That felt good. That felt quicker. Really good straight golf shot. And there we go. We can see straight away there that club head speed just jumped a little bit. Appreciate watching the video as always, and hopefully catch up with you all very soon.